We have risen from the ashes to school the masses. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another edition of the Scholars of Wrestling Show. I'm your man behind the microphone, Scholar Jeff. Joining us this week is the Scholars of Wrestling World Heavyweight Champion, the one and only Mr. Scholar Brian. Scholar Brian, how are we doing tonight, sir?
It's Clash of the Champions, and yet it doesn't really feel like that momentous of a card. It doesn't feel that momentous of a week going into an event called Clash of Champions.
Oh, but the champions are still coming out to play. And speaking of champions past and present, let's talk about the former Scholars of Wrestling heavyweight champion, the one and only he of the gigantic hair, Mr. Scholar Tarek. Scholar Tarek, how are you doing tonight, sir?
I am doing absolutely fantastic, knowing that the Scholars of Wrestling Championship is on the line. So it could be just who ends this weekend as the Scholars of Wrestling champion.
Buddy, I have to let you know right now that what you just said is a lie.
How is it a lie?
First of all, it's not mandatory defense.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not. I defended at SummerSlam.
And we've had three, and this is the third pay-per-view.
SummerSlam.
Okay.
Oh yeah, I'm confused. Payback,
Payback.
All Out, and Clash of Champions 3.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, All Out counted, didn't it?
Yes, it did.
Look at the look on Brian's face.
Oh shit.
Oh, Brian, I love you. You're my Scholars of Wrestling tag team partner, but I got to keep it.
I was going to say, someone's making a very big mistake right now.
And with it being mandatory, it's not my title shot. So
it's like that communist meme.
My friend.
Our title shot.
All right, it's on.
Well played, Mr. Tarek.
Hey, man.
Yeah, look at you following the rules.
Hey, they don't call me the Undisputed Scholar for nothing.
But before we get further into that, I do have to officially
Seriously,
introduce...
all three of you did not know?
No, because I think me and Brian were too focused on whether we wanted the defense. And then he forgot.
Scholar Charlie, by the way. I got to introduce you at some point before you
Wonderful introduction.
I had to get one in there somewhere because it seems like we're on a roll now.
Brian, just blame WWE for adding a pay-per-view a week after SummerSlam.
I forgot completely about Payback. I forgot completely. That's how much Payback resonated in my mind. I forgot about it completely.
I was at Six Flags during Payback, so I completely get it.
Yeah.
Well, all that being said,
by the way.
Here's the thing. Now I just made Clash of Champions more entertaining.
Yes.
All that being said, we have a lot to... We now have more to talk about.
We don't have the same predictions.
We have way more to talk about this week than we predicted originally. So before we get any further, we need to kick things off right with a little bit of backstage news.
Indeed, we go right ahead and go peek behind that curtain, continuing following the rules and checking in on a little
backstage news. Following rules, man.
Forgetting the rules, man.
Well, in the world of backstage news, we do have some good news and we've got some bad news. Bad news, unfortunately, we have lost another legend in the business. As I'm sure many of you have seen, this past week we've had to say goodbye to the other half of the Road Warriors, Road Warrior Animal, this week. Charlie, I think you were the first person to say something this week about the passing of Animal as it was happening. What was your reaction, and do you have any special memories of Road Warrior Animal in your lifetime as a fan?
Of course, this was like the first tag team as a kid that you're like, you see like the character and the talent. So this one hit hard. my first memories, I'd say, of LOD, I was too young for their first run, I think. Yeah. But definitely WrestleMania 14 was my first real introduction to LOD as a whole.
Full memories and or thoughts of Road Warrior Animal and LOD.
I'm not gonna lie, I actually can't really think of any like impactful memories on my time, my wrestling fandom of the Road Warriors. Of course, they are one of the best, and it's nice to know that they finally reunited in the afterlife. And yeah, it's really all that can. They did announce like what was his cause of death, correct?
Yeah, natural.
It was just natural causes.
Yeah.
Okay. Very disappointing to hear. It's sad to hear.
Yeah, given the generation he came from, there's got to be some contributing factors that have led up to it. Because with the kind of shape that he's in, you know,
you know that there was steroids. You know that there was drugs of certain kinds. It's just the way that it was back then. It's just the way that the locker room was. So it's expected that wrestlers back then would have shorter lifespans because of what they had to do, what they had to take to have their spot and be that successful. My first memory as I came in WrestleMania 14. Okay, first show I ever watched WrestleMania 14 because I had heard about Austin and Tyson and Michaels, and I was a fan of Tyson, so that brought me in to see what was going on over there. The first theme song I ever hear on a WWE show is the whole "Oh, what a rush," and it's like automatically just listening to the theme song, it's like that. Yes, and them coming out in that uniform with Sonny in between them at the time, it's like, yep, yeah, I'm in. That the
Go on.
By Mike Tyson and Stone Cold, they kept me with the Road Warriors. It wasn't one of those things where I tuned out of WrestleMania until Stone Cold came in. They came out with their theme music and I was hooked. That's it. And then afterwards I went back and watched old LOD stuff, and yeah, it's like they're tops. If they're not the greatest, they're one of the they're one of the three. Okay, that's it.
Yeah, absolutely. I have a confession to make, though. Granted, when I was a little kid, I had no idea that the Road Warriors and LOD were the same team. I thought there were two extremely similar tag teams ripping each other off, but I had no idea that they were the same exact team. And
no, that's rip off.
Well, hey, I was a kid. I'm a stupid kid. What do you know?
And it's just sad that the last thing you remember the LOD for in the WWE is beating up Heath Slater and Hawk's alcohol problems.
And Draws and Heidenreich.
And I know.
We don't talk about it.
You forgot about Heidenreich and LOD.
We don't talk about Heidenreich unless when he's raping Michael Cole and reading poems.
Not even 10 minutes in. Not even 10 minutes in.
You're welcome.
It took 10 minutes. Tarek, we're slacking.
9 minutes and 35 seconds to be precise.
Tarek, we're slacking. Last week
I may be slacking on the dirtiness of Scholars of Wrestling, but I'm just not slacking on everyone just going, what? That it took my introduction.
Yep. That's
Hey, if nothing else, we still seem to have plenty of great memories of the Road Warriors and Animal as both as a guy and as a team.
What?
Fool, you got something more to add?
So what their last appearance together was them taking out Heath Slater during that whole Heath Slater versus.
no. Hawk died.
I was going to say,
What?
when was their last? Yeah, I was about to say, I'm like, that can't be. That doesn't sound right. When was their last appearance together?
Animal's last appearance
Okay.
was him taking out Heath Slater.
Okay, because I'm just like,
Hawk's last appearance was during that alcohol storyline. They had him pulling off the Titantron.
oh,
So
that's right. Okay.
so it's like the last thing you see of these guys is getting mockeries, really.
That's why I had to make clear, because I totally misheard what you're saying. I'm like, wait, you said their last. Wait, that doesn't sound right.
No, Hawk was
I'm
gone.
like, because I'm like, yeah. I'm like, wait, what? Okay, now it's all it's all clear. Thank you. Everything has
Everybody got that?
Yeah.
been good.
And now they're dominating the tag team division in the sky. So
Yeah, I'll tell you what. No, it seems like no matter what, not only does the memory of the Road Warriors resonate so strongly and provide so many great memories, but even then, even when they're at their worst, they're still so legendary and their body works so strong that all we remember is the good stuff. And the bad stuff we don't linger on it, because hey, when you're that good, your body of work and your legendary status lives forever. So cheers to whatever you got. Here's to you, Animal. Can't wait to see the tag team matches of One Streams in heaven.
they got a pretty nice federation up there.
Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, they have most of the classic. Yeah.
I'm still waiting to see the Road Warriors versus Eddie Guerrero and La Parca. But hey, before we get there, speaking of toast, we had some bad news. Now we have some good news.
You brought some
Particularly,
toast?
no,
Oh,
no. Charlie, I'd be curious if you heard of this one. Just announced this week, or at least this is just when I heard about it. WWE is coming out with their line of WWE wines.
oh yes. Right now it's just the two that they announced, correct?
Yes. So far, they just announced 2 wines, an Undertaker Cabernet, which looks amazing, and a Ultimate Warrior Zinfandel.
Interesting.
That's got to be laced with some kind of caffeine in
Will
there.
it have tassels on it?
No. No, as a matter of fact, but the Undertaker one is apparently shaped like a tombstone.
Nice.
I haven't seen the designs of the bottles yet, but I was really hoping.
Not sure if you can see that.
Oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I was really hoping you said that the Undertaker had like a little Undertaker hat as the topper.
No, apparently they're doing it like a Maker's Mark, where all the tops are like coated in like a purple colored wax with like specialty corks, and every bottle is like individually numbered. So this isn't just like, cheap $2 Chuck stuff. This is up there.
This is their response to the Le Beble.
The only thing that I come away with this is that the power of the Ultimate Warrior is going to be flowing through your veins in a slightly less
or more
caffeinated state. So
I'll tell you what, though.
Crazy like Tarek and I used to do on the show. It's more low key. The
Absolutely.
The power of the ultimate alcohol is flowing through your veins.
Well, I'll tell you what, I did look into it for the curious, and it better be there better be something ultimate to it because we're taught each of these things we're looking at $50 a bottle for each.
Yeah.
Oof.
And
Yep.
that's before shipping.
Wow.
So
They're a pretty penny.
oh yes. But they're almost treating the bottles themselves as like collector's items. So who knows what we're talking about here. And to answer your question, which I'm sure you're thinking, I did not order any yet.
They'll be at Survivor Series.
In the Survivor Series or the Rumble.
Something. I don't know.
Maybe we find for the Rumble game? Oh.
The Taker one.
Hey, we'll all see collectively in time, see how that progresses and, how finances. But hey, if we do get our hands on one, maybe we can do like some sort of group review.
Absolutely. A product review. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Product review. But
Wrestling product review.
Yes. Yay, corporatism. All right. Now that we got that out of the way, we have some very serious business to attend to, talking about the Scholars of Wrestling World Heavyweight Championship, because it's a prediction show. We're talking Clash of Champions. We're talking about title defense. So let's get right into it.
It just seems right that the championship is on the line at Clash of Champions.
Gold Rush.
I only wish that we had a better card.
Yeah.
Hey, there could still be some surprises, at least in the execution. Starting with, at the top of the card, on the pre-show, we've got Asuka versus Zelina Vega. Try not to rack your brains about this.
Champ goes first.
Champ goes first. Charlie. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't word good today.
For that 7
Brian.
Brian. To explain myself, Asuka. That's it.
Yeah.
There is no reason whatsoever that the title can change hands.
All right. Now I'm looking at the list in proper order. Charlie.
Asuka.
Tarek, do we have an accord?
We do. I'm also going with Asuka. If it was on the actual card, maybe I would have chosen Zelina Vega because there is the word that Vince is very high on her backstage. And yeah, but it's on the pre-show. It's Asuka. They're not going to have her drop the title on the pre-show.
All right. First match on the proper card.
Did you choose Asuka too?
You gotta say it. You gotta say it.
I said Asuka.
Oh, okay.
When did you say Asuka? No,
immediately after you did.
Yeah,
I said, come on. Is there any question at this point?
No, but we hear you say.
Okay.
Well, sometimes your pick
Asuka.
have to make sure.
Well, this is going to be clear. I think Zelina Vega will get a title sooner rather than later, but it's definitely not on this.
In all fairness, I did sort of speculate back and forth depending on what could happen potentially with Andrade and Angel Garza later in the night and some potential storylines that could come about that. But ultimately, I think this one is way more likely. Asuka to win. Now, actually moving on to the card at hand, Bobby Lashley versus Apollo Crews. This one, I believe it's my pick. I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley to retain. Again, this is another one of those things where, given what else is going on elsewhere, I sort of wondered if Retribution would possibly interfere in this. But then again, I decided to go with Bobby Lashley and no to a Retribution interference, just because I don't see Apollo Crews having anything to do with them. So that's my pick, Bobby Lashley to win. Charlie, your pick. Who do you got?
Bobby Lashley retains. I don't see any interference in this either. They've done. I hopefully after this, the whole Apollo Crews thing is out of this, and we can get some believable challengers for Bobby Lashley. But yeah, they did the whole thing with MVP, and now they did it with Bobby Lashley. Bobby Lashley's retaining and hopefully ending this program.
Tarek, your pick. Lashley or Cruz?
I am also going to go with Bobby Lashley. And I don't think Retribution will get involved during the match, but I definitely see them doing something after just to keep their program going. Honestly, they're probably even going to save Mace versus, or I'm just going to say Dijaco Mace against Bobby Lashley in the near future. Maybe even at Hell in a Cell. Just setting up the inevitable Retribution versus Hurt Business for Survivor Series.
Wait, I thought Dio Madden was Mace.
I don't. Oh yeah, isn't it like T-bone?
T-bar.
T-bone steak.
T-bone.
We call
T-bone steak.
T-Dijaco bar.
Digest slapjack.
T-bone. We'll just call him T-bone. T-bone.
Shane Thorne is slapjack.
Yeah.
All right, Brian. Brian, do we have an accord? Bobby Lashley, or are you going with Apollo Crews?
I'm going to complete and say Bobby Lashley, because even if Retribution does interfere, I think it goes to a no contest. Either way, Apollo Crews isn't walking out of this the champion in any possible scenario. But I don't think the Retribution gets involved in this match. I actually think they get involved in something a little bit later on. So I'm going to go with Bobby Lashley to beat Apollo Crews. And as Charlie said, we can finally move on.
All right. Elsewhere on the card, we also have, for the Raw Tag Team titles, we've got the Street Profits versus Andrade and Angel Garza.
Again. The infinite times.
All right. So for the infinite times, Charlie, who do you got? Street Profits or Andrade and Angel Garza?
Andrade and Angel Garza. This is where they finally get it done. And as far as you were saying before, like, this having something to do with Zelina Vega, yeah, it's going to be them showing that they're better off without her and not the other way around.
Tarek, what do you think?
I'm also going to go with Andrade and Garza just because that these guys have been feuding for the tag team championships for God knows how long. Someone even made a claim about Garza going for the tag team titles since before WrestleMania. So, because he also had oh God, wow, why am I blanking on his name? The third man of their group before they kicked him out. And,
Austin Theory.
Austin Theory. Thank you. I don't know. Yeah. With Austin Theory and Andrade. Yeah. Just give them these tag team titles. There's so many times you can actually go for the tag team titles. At least give these guys a goddamn chance. And I'm kind of done with the Street Profits as tag team champions.
WWE meanies.
Brian, what are you thinking for this one?
This is actually the toughest one for me, just because of how it was built. It's one of those. Okay, they got the shots on Monday. Legit, last Monday, they got the shots. So it's like but then I also remember
everybody.
I also remember they don't really give a shit about the Raw Tag Team titles. Okay, it's been a joke since the Street Profits won the thing. So they started doing that business with the War Viking Raiders experience and all that. And then they moved on to Andrade and Garza, who tried to poison them. And I'm like, if you wanted to give them the titles, that would have been the perfect time to do it at Payback. So it's like I'm going back and forth between the Street Profit, but it's also...
I know, right?
Your title on the line.
Be courageous. Be ballsy. You don't do it. You don't do it. You won't.
Can somebody get a shot clock?
You know what? It's okay because I think we're pretty much the same on all the others. So if I lose here, no one's gonna be the champion. It's just gonna go vacant. So I'll go Street
That is
Profits.
so cheese.
I've made that title vacant more times than I've owned it. Wow.
I'll go Street Profits. I also think going further into it. Okay,
Oh, jeez. Me and Tarek vacating
Andrade, Garza, and Vega all have problems. Okay, Andrade has a problem with Garza. Garza has a problem with Andrade. They all have a problem with Zelina. Okay, we already have a tag team that are champions that are at odds with each other. You gonna do the same storyline twice at the same time? So yeah, I'm gonna go to Street Profits.
Oh, boy.
That's a good idea. I'm going to do the same thing, Street Profits.
Oh, boy.
In all seriousness, this is not just strategy. This is me not having enough confidence, just like the Zelina Asuka match, where they could do something interesting with this, where it was like, okay, that we did all this without you, but I still have some degree of I still think it's possible, but I still have some degree of reasonable doubt. Like I'm personally not like 100% convinced they're going to do this. I'm more like 40% convinced. And in terms of not just strategy against you, Brian, but also just my lack of confidence that they're actually going to pull the trigger on that and actually do something interesting with it. So
what strategy?
I am going.
Bacon or me at this point. So
I am going to see if I can match Brian as closely as I can, with a few notable exceptions, looking down the card. So if heaven forbid something happens, I actually do have a shot of winning this. So we'll see how it goes. That's to be revealed another time. But
one after Tarek, I guess. So
elsewhere, we also have what I personally think is going to be the match of the night. We have, for the Intercontinental title in a ladder match, Jeff Hardy versus AJ Styles versus Sami Zayn.
The true Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn.
The true Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. Let's see. Whose turn is it? I believe it's I believe it's yours, fool. How convenient. Intercontinental title match.
Of course I'm going first on this one.
Hardy, Styles, Zayn. Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the true Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn, to take this one. And I'm just convinced. No one, because it's a ladder match, I could see him just weaseling his way up there and just taking it. And he's right now just a perfect character to be that. Just the guy who just manages to sneak victories and just being the true Intercontinental Champion.
Brian, who do you got?
Same. I've got Sami Zayn being the true Intercontinental Champion, and here's why. You know Jeff Hardy's gonna do some crazy shit off the top of that ladder to AJ Styles, and then Sami Zayn's gonna call him. Sami Zayn's just gonna run in, just go up to the top of the ladder. Hardy is dead because he's Jeff Hardy. AJ's, because let's face it, okay, when the face comes out and he's like, "Screw all you, I'm calling all you out. We're gonna do a ladder match." That dude's not winning. It's not happening. And when you have AJ Styles is gonna go on and go back into the main title picture, and There's so much more that you can do with the true Intercontinental Champion, Sami Zayn. There's more mileage out of that than there is with Jeff and AJ Styles. So I'm going for it. We're going to have definitely via shenanigans. Gotta be. But Sami Zayn is walking out your true, undisputed Intercontinental Champion.
I'll tell you what, I agree with virtually everything you said. I think that Sami Zayn is, with the way they're presenting him, is just way too strong of a character to not be involved in the Intercontinental title picture. I just don't think it's going to be as a champ. I think it's going to they're going to push AJ away, and I'm going to go with Jeff Hardy retaining.
It's only because his name matches yours, isn't it?
No, that's like the 8th reason why. First reason why I think it's a legitimate shot.
Reason 2 through 6 now.
Reason number 2, I'm using it for strategy purposes to get the title. Number 3 is because WWE results are pretty much like predictable. 4th is money. 5th is he's going to be getting new music. 6th is merchandising, and then 7th is because he's a legitimate draw. You didn't think I could do that? I just pulled that out of my butt.
You got me, and you just leveled out the playing field, because first I went in Hardy, and then I thought Zayn from what these two said, but do I go strategy or with my heart?
In all fairness and all sincerity here, this was truly a little bit of both. It is part strategy and part something I think there's a good strong chance they would legitimately do. I do think Sami Zayn, he's got a legit shot just as much as anybody else in this match. This is another reason why I'm thinking this is probably going to be the match of the night, if not one of the more unpredictable ones. So
I need you to think about this
on that second IC title.
Before you start, I need you to think about something, Charlie. Okay, I need you to think about this. Okay, if Andrade and Angel Garza win, and Sami Zayn wins, okay, that means Tarek's out in front, and you're back behind. If you go the route I think you're going.
Why do you have to make this harder?
I said I'm going after Tarek. I'm going to go after Tarek, Sami Zayn.
Okay.
You're not winning it. We're going to vacate it, you son of a bitch.
I love these games to play. I love it. I love it so much.
Ryan, thank you for that.
All right. Let's take a break. Let's all calm down now. Let's give Tarek a break and talk about a tag team match: Cesaro and Shinsuke Nakamura versus Lucha House Party.
It's the
Brian, it's your pick.
Baby.
What do you got?
Get your pillows ready, Tarek. Cesaro and Nakamura. Come on. Yeah, they actually gave the Lucha House Party a storyline, but who gives a shit? No, that's
away.
Yeah, gotta concur on this one. Cesaro, Shinsuke. It's been a long time coming, but it's Cesaro and Shinsuke's time to shine, and they're not burning out yet. Cesaro, Shinsuke to win. Charlie, what do you think?
Shinsuke.
And do we have an accord, Tarek?
The love of my life, Cesaro and Shinsuke.
Okay, I kind of figured that was coming.
If there's a swerve, I'll shit myself.
I think we'll all collectively shit, but at least it won't matter in terms of points for the title.
It'll be the Zack Ryder Intercontinental title win at WrestleMania.
No way. It's not gonna cost anybody a title at that. So it doesn't. It's not on the same echelon. Elsewhere, we do have, speaking of tag titles, we've got Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler versus the Riot Squad. Let's see, we've got, it's my pick. Honestly, I had to go back and forth a couple times with this one. I thought for a moment that Riot Squad, as they were presented, had a shot, but now I'm thinking, you know what? Jackson Baszler, not just yet. If maybe they had a little bit more build for the Riot Squad, I'd say a strong maybe. But yeah, Nia Jackson, Shayna Baszler.
I think
Charlie?
you're too hard on this one, Jeff.
I try and look at things from every single perspective possible. Doesn't mean it's likely, but that's just the way my brain works. Charlie, who do you got?
Nia Jackson, Shannon Baszler.
Jackson Baszler. Tarek, who do you got?
I'm going with the Riot Squad.
Fuck you! Oh boy.
That's my wild card for this pay-per-view.
It's okay. Just lost all the...
You're thinking of that. You're going Lucha House Party.
No, Charlie. It's okay. It's a boon because he just lost everything that he would have gained.
It's more. I don't want. This is more. I do not want Shayna Baszler and Nia Jax as the tag. They're better as singles competitors for Asuka. So I'm going. Yeah, I'd rather.
I was going to say that sounds like a legit guess. It's not. It's a legit strategy guess.
And just they've been booked. They're booking Shayna and Jax so strong. I just see the Riots. They're like so going in so uber confident, and I just see one of them just rolling up Jax for the win. If one of them's getting pinned, it's
roll
Jax.
Up Nia Jax?
Uh-huh.
Can you roll up Nia Jax?
Alexa Bliss has rolled up Nia Jax.
Oh, jeez.
So yes, it's very possible. And honestly, yeah, I'm thinking if there's any one of these matches that is just gonna have a big wild card and I just not give a fuck, it's just this one.
I would have marked out for you if you chose Lucha House Party as that wild card instead.
I would it's rare that I bet against my man.
This is true.
Brian, where are you putting your chips tonight?
He already gave his prediction.
No, I didn't. But
yes, he did. You picked Jackson
I didn't hear
Baszler.
Well, now I do. I never said it out loud, but yeah, now I do. That's there's legs. There's legs in the Jackson Baszler tag team and storyline. That there's more to go here, and I don't think you've built up the Riot Squad enough in their return. So enough
They
to.
didn't build any of them up.
Well, yeah, but not enough.
There's only so. It's like, oh, we're a great tag team, putting Miro's wife through a table twice.
And you know what? If it hadn't been, how long has it been? A month since the pay-per-view? It's their first defense.
Mm-hmm.
They're not losing.
They're I see them as transitional champions more than anything.
No, not.
I see them as just the ploy to get the tag team titles off Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Well, the tag team titles aren't going to the Riot Squad, so I'm sorry, Tarek. So they'll be champions, I believe, until Survivor Series. So Jackson Baszler.
Right. That would be hilarious.
It would be hilarious, and I would laugh and be like, I lost my title to the Riot Squad.
Now that would be your Zack Ryder moment right there.
No, it wouldn't. The moment that will always be the Zack Ryder moment is me losing my title because of James Ellsworth. That's it. That's it.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, I can't argue with that. Moving on to our next argument, we've got Bayley, the SmackDown Women's Champion, versus Nikki Cross. Charlie, your pick. Who you got for this one?
Bayley retains.
Okay. Tarek, who do you got for this one?
Bayley. They're saving the SmackDown Women's Championship for Sasha at Hell in a Cell. That match is the perfect of any other matches that they'll probably throw together, this one feels like it should be in Hell in a Cell.
Brian, who do you got?
I see you with your chin over there, Jeff. And here's the deal. Yes, there is the thought that Sasha could come back and screw Bailey at this show. But here's the deal. Okay, the SmackDown Women's title isn't going anywhere until it goes to Sasha. Okay, it's not going to any other challenger before that. Okay, I've heard a lot of talk that I want Sasha to come out and cost Bailey the title. I'm like, well, what's the point? You're gonna have Sasha and Bailey in the Hell in a Cell for nothing? That's it. So what I actually think is gonna happen is we're gonna get the Alexa Bliss turn here. I think that Alexa Bliss turns on Nikki Cross and Bailey. Alexa Bliss goes full Harley Quinn, goes full Fiend character or whatever, and takes out Nikki Cross, and that's how Bailey retains. And then Sasha Banks comes out afterwards while Bailey is celebrating and does the beatdown. So Bailey to retain, and Sasha Banks comes out after the match. We will see Sasha Banks at Clash of Champions.
Interesting. I have to admit, I feel like this all revolves around who's going to interfere and when. I thought there was a chance that Nikki Cross could win, but yeah, let's make it a consensus. Bailey to win. I can't really argue with that logic. Gotta go with it. Elsewhere, we've got for the WWE Universal Championship, we've got Roman Reigns versus Jey Uso. Tarek, I think it's your turn.
Roman Reigns is going to destroy Jey Uso. It is going to be a glorified squash match. And it's just going to be that moment where we're just going to be the Simpsons kids. Stop, he's already dead. And people are going to say it, but I'm going to say, no, just keep going. Destroy him, Roman. Solidify your heel turn. Keep going at this glorious storyline that you put yourself in.
Brian, do you want to make it official?
This needs to be an epic beatdown / murder. The likes that we have never seen before. Okay, this is... To those of you watching who don't know, we used to do a video game tournament, and Jey Uso was our Miracle Uso. Okay, that's it.
He's finally in the title picture.
For whatever reason, we do 64-man tournaments. He would always make it to the Final Four, no matter what, every year. Well, he finally gets his way to the title picture, and yeah, there's going to be no Miracle Uso tonight at Clash of Champions. This is how you solidify Roman Reigns as the top heel in the business. Yeah, I'm going to put him over MJF if he does this shit the way that I want him to. Okay, that's it.
Oh, he's going to, and it's going to be
when
magnificent.
He takes a family member. Okay, WWE doesn't do blood, but if they do hard way, if somehow blood starts coming out hard way as he's spearing him through barricades, putting him through announce tables, using every available surface you could possibly use, I'd even throw him into some of those Thunderdome monitors. That's it.
I would handcuff him to the ropes and just constantly bash his head with a steel chair, and Roman Reigns not giving a shit that he has to pay the fine for it.
I would use a bunch of tables and then set them up in every single corner and just set Jay in and just spear him through every single corner sequentially, one at a time.
What did Jay ever do to you guys?
Charlie, how would you murder Jey Uso?
Barbed
So
wire.
I guess that's Jeff's prediction for Roman.
I think it's all of our prediction for Roman. But anyway, I want to hear Charlie's answer.
Roman Reigns.
No, I mean how you would
I
murder
said
Jey Uso. Barbed wire. I didn't catch that last part. Barbed wire ropes. Ooh, yeah, that would be murder. Do we want to do an over-under on how many times Jey Uso is going to get murdered tonight?
The show is going to. I want the show to end with that shot of Jay, just a bloody corpse, handcuffed to the ropes, dun or whatever. Since Roman's getting new theme music,
and
Roman
Ray. Roman Reigns.
and that's all. It's going to be Paul Heyman doing that. So, sort of similar, like the I did, Roman.
Sidebar.
Full circle.
Why would you bring Hyde?
I'd break enough clout tonight, please.
Sidebar. Has anyone seen Roman Reigns the theme music with lyrics? Like some guy already did that like years ago.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
It's great. Well, I'll pass along the link after we
It's like the curb stomp Seth Rollins video.
It's fantastic.
Roderick, no.
And after all of that, finally, that brings us to our final event match of the evening. We've got Drew McIntyre, the WWE champion, versus Randall Keith Orton. Where do we leave off?
In an ambulance match.
It's
An ambulance match, yes. Brian. Ambulance. Brian, take us home. Who do you got?
You don't have to get pinned. You don't have to submit. This is where Retribution comes in. And this is where Randall Keith Orton becomes your new WWE champion. Because Drew McIntyre doesn't have to get pinned. He doesn't have to get submitted. There can be some fuckery. He won't lose anything when losing the title in this way. So, yeah. This is how you do it. This is how you take the title off of McIntyre through fuckery, like an ambulance match.
I deny your effery. I do not think it's going to happen now. I don't see it. Although I do think there's going to be some shenanigans with Retribution. It's likely going to be here. I'm not convinced that Drew is going to lose the title. Drew McIntyre to retain.
Huh.
Charlie, your pick.
Fuckery! Randy Orton wins. He is gonna punch Drew's jaw off of his face. And Retribution is gonna help pick up the pieces, and Randall's gonna scurry him on down to that ambulance.
Tarek, take us home. Who do you got? McIntyre or Orton?
Randy.
It
Orton.
all goes
Randy.
It all goes down to the Riot Squad.
Oh boy. See, and you guys thought this show wasn't going to be interesting.
A Riot Squad match than Sunday.
Thanks to you, we just made this show 10 times more interesting.
Again, you're welcome, gentlemen.
Fucking Riot Squad's on.
Mom, shut up. I'm trying to watch the Riot Squad.
And it's not going to matter at all if the Street Profits win.
Oh, boy. It's going to be good times this Sunday. Gold rush indeed. We're all going to be rushing for the gold.
Who will be Scholars of Wrestling champion at the end of the night?
It's going to be a good time. But now we've shared our thoughts, our opinions, our predictions, we want to know what you think. So wherever you are all across the internet, drop us a line. YouTube comments, Facebook comments, Twitter comments. tout comments. Just kidding. No one has tout anymore. We want to hear from you, especially if it's on Twitter, starting with @ScholarsOW, our main page for all the latest episode uploads. You can also follow us on our personal Twitter accounts. Fool, where can I reach you?
You can reach me throwing a Scholars quick talk to you, gentlemen, to close the show. Will we see a 24/7 title change?
Oh God.
It's Clash of
going-
Champions, so I'd say yes.
We have to, right? All titles are on the line. So
Here's
I'm-
what I want to see. I want to see Akira Tozawa show up with a giant shark, and it's just Tozawa's legs running, trying to chase after R-Truth for the 24/7 championship.
And then he pins R-Truth, but the dead
But the
shark
shark
actually
is
ends
the one
up
that
winning
made the
the
pin,
title.
and the shark is the 24/7 champion.
this doesn't count towards our predictions, right?
No.
Okay.
And then the shark gets taken off of Tozawa. Tozawa miraculously survives, but the shark ends up going to a sushi restaurant. And then R-Truth ends up going to a sushi restaurant later in the night, pinning a tray of sushi, and ends up taking back the 24/7 championship.
Only seen on YouTube.
I'm for kickball.
Fool, for more
You
lovely
can find me
insights.
doing that at the Avatar.
Brian, where can I reach you?
You can find me wishing that entire storyline into existence at Atomic Beanpole.
I want to see it happen so badly now. Charlie, where can I reach you?
Charlie.
Hey, we've seen Brock Lesnar F5 a shark. Why not have Akira Tozawa running with just legs with a shark over him? Some days you just can't get rid of a bomb.
Or a shark.
It writes itself. That's it.
That
Yes.
belt is so goddamn worthless.
And you can
Really, Tarek, tell us how you really feel.
I was
follow us for
hoping,
more
I
hot
was hoping
takes.
that was their jump the shark. I was hoping the shark would end up eating the belt, and that will be the death of the 24/7 championship. That's how I truly feel about it.
And you can join the conversation for more hot takes following me at I'm Robbie Rage. Join the conversation. You've heard it here first. The conversation never ends. The takes are always hot, and you know who we are. We're the Scholars of Wrestling, and you have just been schooled. You're welcome.
You're welcome.
You're welcome.
See you all at the Gold Rush, Clash of Champions. Let's do it.
Ooh, right, old rush.